So your character is described as the mastermind that's been sitting beside the audience and kind of watching the events of the first 3 films unfold to see how it's going to affect him. How do you feel like Bayer plays into the whole Bourne universe?
Yeah, I think that, those little Russian dolls, the little ones inside the bigger one, inside the bigger one. I think that what Tony's done with this film that's very clever is he's sort of suggested that everybody who was in the first 3 films is like a small Russian doll, and now you start to see who are the bigger dolls outside them, and who's been actually running the larger system that this was all nested within. So it's he's kind of the boss over the bosses who has been watching this carefully to see if it means he's going to have to adjust some of the rest of what he's involved in.
Did you bring any of that into your performance? I mean, did you watch the first 3 films with sort of that in mind?
I didn't really. I didn't really revisit them specifically, but I knew them pretty well. I mean, I remembered them, and of course Tony wrote them, so I didn't need to go look at I could just say to Tony, remind me again, exactly how these things were all connected, and he had it pretty well.
I think that one of the things that I really liked and was kind of frightened by was that he never telegraphs being an antagonist. I mean, it's never sort of overt villainy, which made me realize how rare that is, even with great actors. Was that on the page? Was that something that you and Tony discussed?
A combination of both. I think that Tony never talked about him like a villain. He's not taking delight from the tough things that he's doing to other people. He's a character who Tony clearly writes as having a heavy sense of responsibility to a set of rules that are tough, but that are a part of the very, very difficult job that he has. And I think, it's like, I don't know, if you think about films like The Fugitive, Tommy Lee Jones isn't the villain. He's just giving Harrison Ford a pretty rough week. You know what I mean? It's like nobody's innocent and nobody's like perpetrating evil. It's just you're observing kind of the tense situation that these people are all in which they're up against each other.
What's amazing is that I brought up Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive last night as a comparison, as the only other film that I could think of that was like that.
Yeah, it reminded me of that too.